Hi everybody, welcome to The Colors of Beauty by Elle. I'm Isabel. Welcome back to another car vlog and welcome all my new subscribers. I just got out of the vet. I took Iris. Again, I have my glasses on because for the majority of the time when I vlog, I'll probably will because my eyes are really sensitive to the sunshine. It's really bright. Though we did get some rain last night, which is pretty nice. But anyways, I just got out of the vet with Iris, and they took blood because she's getting ready. I'm gonna take her next week to get her spayed, and I wanted to get her blood work and everything done beforehand. So, cause it's like, you know, it's good for them to have their blood panel and stuff, and know what type of blood she needs, if she needs a transfusion or whatnot. But I don't know, do dogs have a blood type D for dog? I don't know. Isn't that weird? But I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry. It might be, I don't know if it was only $30, you know, so it's like, but I try to take really good care of her because she's my baby. But it's really hard for me to go to that vet sometimes because that's the same veterinarian that I've always taken my dogs to, and I took Gabby Ann to go to heaven. So that's kind of hard for me to go there sometimes, you know, because then things come back in your mind about when you saw her and how sick she was and things like that. So it was kind of hard. Because yes, 4th of July was her 5-month angelversary. That's what I call it, her angelversary, that she went over the Rainbow Bridge, and I tell you, I miss her every day. I didn't realize, well, I did because I've lost other pets before, but I think the older you get, the more aware of, as morbid as this seems, I think the older you get, the more aware of passing away you know, you get, you're more sensitive to it, I think. I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm a dork and I'm, you know, and I love just, well, you know what? Just face it. I think, I just loved her. I love her so much, and I still do. And I still say, I love you, Rose. Because I used to call her, we had this little jingle. I always tell her, Gabby Ann, you are a man. Gabby Ann, don't you understand? Because it rhymed. You know, it's those little jingles that I had for her. But then she'd just look at me and she, you know, wag her little tail. So, and she was amazing. Amazing. I love her so much. Oh, I miss her. I miss her a lot. And Emmett did too for a while. That's why I had to get another doggy, a sister for him. So then I got Iris, and boy, they play together. Whoa. Like every evening, it's like clockwork. Around 6 o'clock, they chase each other up and down the stairs. Oh, I try to take them outside, but then they get really, you know, because I got a really, really big yard. So they run outside, run, and then they want to come in, so I let them in. They have some water, and then they run in the house, up and down the stairs, from down the stairs, up the stairs, around the living room and the dining room, and it's crazy. And they chase each other with little dollies. Like Emmett loves balls. You know, he loves his squeaky balls, and he grabs his ball, and Iris loves, her favorite toy is a giraffe, and she loves that little animal, that little stuffed thing. It's so cute. So she grabs her giraffe, and Emma grabs the ball, and they run everywhere. It's so cute. It's so cute to watch. And then they get so tired, they lay there just like So hope you guys had a really great 4th of July. My hubby and I, we stood home. He made fajitas, which were so good. Oh my God. He makes these fajitas that he marinates for like, I don't know, 7 hours in the refrigerator with like spices and lemon or no, lime and all kinds of stuff. Oh my God, it's so freaking good. And then he just makes them on the grill, and oh wow, they're so good, so good. So then I made some beans and rice, and we had fajitas, beans and rice. So yummy. I love when he barbecues. Oh my gosh, I love when he uses the grill. Oh, it's so freaking, he makes the most amazing steaks ever. Because I know I should be away from red meat because of my cholesterol. You know, so I'm trying to go towards more chicken and fish. But yesterday was not yesterday, the 4th of July was, you know, 4th of July, you know, you want a little bit of holiday, so I had some of that. It was so good, so good, so good. So we just stood home, and then we watched some of the fireworks from our backyard that they had up at the park, and it was so nice. You know, it was really pretty. But then we also watched the one from, I think it was New York. Wow, now that's some fireworks, right? Whoa, Nelly. They usually do a really nice display here at this place called Tempe Town Lakes. But holy cow in the box, to get out of that place, you probably have to stay overnight in your car just trying to get out of the parking lot or wherever you're at, because there's a lot of freaking people. I think the whole state goes there. No, I'm just kidding. But no, there's a lot of people that go to Tempe Town Lakes. It's crazy, crazy bones, crazy bones. So when I was in the vet's office, they took Iris back, and you could hear her. She cried. You could hear her crying. You know, I could hear her crying from the waiting area because she was getting her blood drawn. I felt so bad. I was like, oh, poor baby. And then when we were checking, and then while I was sitting there waiting for her, I heard this big growl, and then all of a sudden you hear this huge, sounded like this huge dog, big dog. And so it's like, whoa, you know, I know that's not Iris. But when I was checking out with her, there comes that big dog. He was this huge mastiff. Is that how you say it? Mastiff dog? Oh my gosh, that doggy was huge. He was so big. He was a very big dog. I mean, he could have eaten Iris, you know, in one gulp. But little Iris, she's just as fearless as can be because she's just a puppy. Though she's a big puppy, but she's a puppy. She's only, what, 5.5 months old. She was like, you know, looking at her ears were floppy and trying to play with it, you know, but that dog just kind of looked at her and just kind of like, I could hear the rumbling coming out of his belly, and his mommy was like, stop it, sit down, you know. And then out comes the vet, the doctor, and he tells me, he says, do you want to bring Iris around the counter? And I said, okay. And he says, this is for her safety. This is for her safety because I guess the dog growled at the doctor and was going to bite him. And so I was like, okay. So I went behind the counter with the girls because they know me there. And so Iris was there, and that dog was he was huge baby. I mean, I don't think he was a baby, but he was and I call them babies because there are babies, but somebody else's baby. But anyways, very, very, very big dog. And so it's like, yikes. But I think that dogs like that, though, in my opinion, if you're going to take a dog out that you know is going to growl or try to, you know, lash out at someone, I think maybe a soft muzzle would be good. You know when I had a pet, his name was Wallace, and my Wally was a German Shepherd mix, and he was very in your face kind of dog. He was my doggy, you know. That being said, he was really protective of me and just me. It was like I was his thing that he protected. So every time I took him out, I had to put a soft muzzle on him because he thought that everybody was trying to eat me or get me or something. So in order for him to behave, I had to still get him out, you know, of the house. I had to go ahead and put a soft muzzle on him because I didn't want him biting anyone or hurting anyone, and especially a child, you know. So, and you know how kids are with dogs, you know, they always like to pet them. Oh, doggy, you know, and they're like, ah. So I had to do that with Wally, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just the owner knows, you know, how to protect the dog and to protect other people. So, okay, I'm at the bank, and I don't know if you can see that hole right there. No, that's it. Thank you. Two. Look how cute that is. That is like the cutest thing ever. Those are quail. That's a quail, Mommy. Thank you. What? Aww. Look, it's like kids so cute. When I was a little girl, we had like so many animals. It was like a zoo where I lived. And you know, if you ever see the shows where they have like the little kids playing in the backyard with just dirt, you know, and a stick and no shoes, yeah, that would be me. Because I grew up, you know, my house was very, very, very tiny. It only had, actually it was just one room, and it was divided into, the only reason you knew you were in the kitchen was because there was a stove there. So that was the kitchen, and then, but anyways, that's beside the point. But we had so many animals. We had like 2 cats, 4 dogs. We had chickens that would lay eggs in our chicken coop so my mom can make our eggs every morning fresh. We had a turkey. We had baby chicks. We had rabbits. My brothers had pigeons. I don't know why he had pigeons, because at the time the pigeons were cute and everything, you know, and they would lay eggs, and they would just, we had so many pigeons, and it was like a pigeon gang, like a birdie gang, flying up on top. He let them out of the coop, and then they would just fly and fly and fly and fly and circle. It was the coolest thing to watch them as a kid, you know. And then what else did we have? We had we had lizards, because my brothers always had a lizard in a shoebox. You ever do that? Like when you were little, catch lizards and put them in a shoebox and put holes on top so that they can breathe, and they would always, for some reason, they would always get out, and it was always in the house. And my mom would be like, what is that? She'd be screaming, getting the broom. Yeah, that was so fun. You know, and also we had mice too. Not rats, but we had mice, the little white mice. you know, the little field white mice. We had those. My dad was always catching him with the mouse trap behind the fridge. He'd get cheese, just like in the cartoons. He'd get a piece of cheese and put it on there, and then in the morning he'd go and get it, and then he would show me, and I'd be, oh, so let it go. You know, he's like, no, I can't let it go because it's, you know. So if it wasn't too hurt, he would let it go, but now I would be like, oh, you know, when you're a kid, you're not afraid of things like that, but now it's like, oh, you understand that in that little mouse there's like so many diseases. You know, when you're little, you just don't understand. All you see is little cute little mouse like Tom and Jerry. Remember Tom and Jerry? I loved Tom and Jerry show. I loved cartoons when I was a little kid. What happened to cartoons? They've gotten so awful lately. I mean, they're not even cute or funny or nothing. You know, I grew up watching Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Donald Duck, Casper the Friendly Ghost. I don't know if anybody remembers Casper the Friendly Ghost. Or Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. He always had a bag of tricks. And I grew up watching, let me see, what else did I grow up watching? Oh, and then there was HR Puffin Stuff. You guys remember that? HR Puffin Stuff. Like the little talking flute. I love that talking flute. I always wish I had one. I always got a stick from the yard and put it in my pocket and pretend that it was my talking flute. It was so fun. Yeah, so but cartoons today, all you see are like robots and fighting and superheroes, and there's even kissing. Like people, like not people, the cartoon characters, you know, they make them kissing and stuff. That's gross. I mean, for children, you know, I don't know. What happened to cute cartoons? But I do have to say though that Bugs Bunny wasn't like the safest, you know, because you'd always see him, I don't know, especially the coyote one, you always see them get blown up. But you had common sense not to do that back then, you know. I don't know what's wrong with people now today that they do that. It's probably just all the GMOs in our food, you know, it's gotten to our brains. It just happened to me, you guys. I was in the dogs. This always happens to me when my husband's not with me, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because I'm just, you know, I'm this woman that people think that they can like walk all over or whatnot. But I was in there and I didn't see any carts because they were all taken, and I had this really heavy thing of dog food. You know, first of all, there was nobody on the counter, at the counter when I was going, right? Because I don't know, I'm so upset. Anyways, when I was in there, I didn't see any carts, so I was putting all my stuff on the counter one by one because I get other things for them, you know, like treats and stuff. So I go and I get a bunch, as much as I could, and then I put it on the counter, and then I went back to get my dog food, and there was nobody in the store, you know, except for the workers. And then I come back, and as I was approaching the counter where the young lady was, this guy and this little boy comes up there, and he was a big guy, you know, really big guy. I'm small, I'm like 5'1", you know, and so it was heavy. It was a heavy bag. So I said, excuse me, you know, I'm gonna put this down on the counter. And he goes, he turns around and looks at me, and he says, well, just drop it right there, I'm talking. I'm like, really? I'm like, well, you know, I didn't want you to stop talking. I told him, I said, I don't want you to stop talking. I want you just to, you know, if you would please scoot over so I can put this on the counter, so because it's heavy and I don't want, you know, if I drop it, it's gonna open and get all over the floor. And he's like, well, you know, well, I was talking and, you know, and he was done, and he just, I says, well, I forget, he said something like, whatever, he said a racial slur to me, and I said, well, God bless you. And he's like, whatever. He says, whatever, lady. And I said, yes, sir. He says, God bless you. Hope, you know, you have a very good day. And he's like, yeah, right. And he just turns around and gets his kid by the arm and leaves. And then he says something racial to me, and I go, bye, God bless you. These things happen to me a lot. I'm Hispanic. It happens to me more than you would think it does. I know. I don't know why, but I had one when I was working. Before I retired, when I was working, I had a couple. Probably, I don't know, at the time they were probably like, probably about 60 years old or so. And then they would tell me, you know, I don't want you to help me. And I'm like, well, I'm more than qualified to help you. You know, I'm licensed and I can help you with whatever you need. And they're like, no, I want the white young woman to help us. I was like, oh, it didn't dawn on me that that's what they wanted, whom they wanted to help was the young lady who was working with me, who was not licensed and didn't know what she was doing, but they still wanted her because she was white. So I was like, okay. So I respected their wishes. You know, I got the young lady to help them, and she told them, you know, I don't know what your questions, because I'm not a licensed technician. Isabel's the license and she's the manager. So she's the one that knows what the questions that you're asking, you know. So instead of them staying, they left. And they didn't want anything to do with me because I was Hispanic. So it's like, okay, all right, you know, which is not a big deal. You know, it pisses my husband off to no end, because he gets really mad when people do that, of course. But it always happens when he's not around, all the time, all the time. I get people call me names that are bad, and for some reason I shouldn't be used to it, but I'm kind of not. Does it shock me? No. So racism is, I think racism is everywhere, no matter what color, to a racist. No matter what color you are, you're going to be racist to the color that you're not. I think that's how a racist thinks. I don't know. I'm not a racist. I don't know. Skin color's not contagious. I don't know. It's just very weird. I don't get it. But so I think I'm just gonna take my happy ass back to Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not from Mexico. I was born in Arizona. a native of Arizona. Actually, I've been here all my life, and I like it here. But unfortunately, there's some people who are weird. Whatever. And they hate it too. When you tell somebody, when you say nice things to them and they say something mean to you, they hate that. People hate that. It's like they don't know what to do with themselves, you know. So then they're like, whatever. So you just have to deflate it instead of getting all mean and angry about it. You just gotta feel bad for them because they're so closed-minded. When I was growing up, I went to a school that was Mexican and black, and we only had like maybe 1 or 2 white kids in our class, and they just, you know, they were just kids just like the rest of us. They weren't discriminated against. We didn't nobody bullied them. And I was the one that got bullied because I was little, short and skinny, and you know. But I don't know. But that's kids, right? I wouldn't want my kids to get bullied, though. My kids never got bullied, thank goodness. And they never did bullying. My kids never did the bullying either, because they'd get a bullying on their butt, if you know what I mean. They like, oh man. Anyways, you guys, I think I'm gonna let you go at this point because I'm almost home and I need to give my doggy some food, and I gotta do some other stuff around the house. I will see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to comment. Okay? I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Subscribe.